All right, welcome to Curiosity by CAHSS. I'm Ryan Martin. So I actually want to start out with a story. So a few nights ago, my wife and I were watching TV and we were both exhausted. So we said, you know what, let's just watch one more episode and then we're going to go to bed. And we watched an episode and guess what? It ended with a cliffhanger. And since there was only one more episode of the season, we said, you know what, we can do one more. Let's go to bed when that's done. But then that next one ended with a cliffhanger too, so we watched another, and then all of a sudden the urge to know what happened next had taken over. Sleep was no longer a priority, episode after episode after episode, each time making excuses for why it was okay to watch just one more. Now, in some ways, psychologically speaking, this feels like a super weird thing to do. Why on earth would we put aside a deeply seated physiological need like sleep in favor for something fundamentally unimportant like the desire to know what happened next on a 3-year-old episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine? And the answer is that wanting to know what happens next isn't fundamentally unimportant, not in the grand scheme of things. It's actually critical to our survival. Because wanting to know what happened next is driven by an emotion with the deep roots in our evolutionary history. It's driven by our curiosity. Now, people are sometimes surprised when I call curiosity an emotion, but it is one. It's a feeling state that is stimulated when we identify gaps in our knowledge, and it produces an intense feeling of deprivation. It's actually really easy to induce curiosity because all you have to do is draw attention to those gaps. We don't like not knowing that we don't know something. So for example, this 2012 study, these researchers did a study where they had participants watch a blurry picture become clear. That's it. No other investment at all. Just watch the picture become clear. But they were naturally curious about the outcome. What was this picture going to be of? The researchers scanned their brains while this was happening, and what they found when the image was that when the image was blurry and when the people were curious, their brains looked like someone who was physically uncomfortable. The researchers likened it to thirst, which is a metaphor I like a lot, and they found that when the blurry picture became clear, reward centers of the brain became active. Participants looked to be literally thirsty for knowledge, and information quenched that thirst. And it's not just humans. There's all sorts of evidence that animals will make what we would consider unusual choices to obtain information. Monkeys will go through these arduous tasks just for the chance to peek out of a window and see new things. Hungry mice will take time to explore a new environment, even when there's food present. Meanwhile, computer scientists have discovered that learning algorithms, basically artificial intelligence, will fail if they aren't encouraged to explore. They get into a rut doing the same thing over and over, and the solution was to add an exploration bonus to the algorithm. It's a reward built in for trying something new. So we can think of curiosity as being our own exploration bonus. We've developed an emotional system to reward ourselves for finding new things. It doesn't happen by chance. It happened as the result of millions of years of natural selection. Knowing things provided our ancestors with a reliable survival benefit. The same way fear motivated our ancestors to flee from danger, curiosity motivated them to explore the world around them. And because they explored and tried new things, they found food sources they wouldn't have otherwise found. They found places to hide from predators. They found better, safer territory. And that curiosity that encouraged them to explore, it ended up saving their lives. And because of all of this, that same system is built into us now. Human beings are learning machines. We value information even when it has no direct benefit to what we're doing. We binge on information all the time because ultimately we know that something we learned by chance today, something that seems unimportant, might end up being useful or even life-saving tomorrow. And if you don't believe me that we crave information, take a brief look at how we've structured our lives and our environment. We created an information superhighway in the internet. We built devices that give us immediate access to that information, and then we filled that highway with curiosity-inducing clickbait. Right? 10 ways psychologists can help you learn. You won't believe number 7. And before we had that technology, we created books, the printing press, colleges and universities, telescopes, Mars rovers, one of them named Curiosity, by the way. We have structured vast swaths of our daily life, our technology, and our global economy around obtaining and sharing information. Now, some of you are going to say, well, wait a minute, I was told that curiosity killed the cat. What's that all about? Well, that is a great question, and I bet it has a fascinating answer. We should all look it up later. Until then, I'm Ryan Martin. You can find me at RyCMart on social media. Check out more great content like this at causeeffect.org. Thanks for tuning in.